Hi, friends. How are you this afternoon? Uh, my name is Rizwan, and I am the director of ACE Personal Resource Development, a company involved in training, coaching, and speaking uh, skills that I enhance my training for our participants in. So I have conducted a 6 days TTT program uh, last month, and during those training programs, I have had so many participant feedback, and I thought it would be very interesting to also meet up with these participants and allow them an opportunity to express themselves as to what was their perspective about this 6 days training program. To just give you a brief about this TTT program, it was a 6 days TTT on training and development, giving different stages of the training and development process from start to finish. It gives the stepwise process as to how a particular person can go through the training and development and enhance his skills as a trainer in whatever field he may be. You may be in any kind of field and you would like to train others in that particular field. So this TTT program can enhance your skills as a trainer in whatever industry you might be. You might be a teacher, you might be a professor, you might be a coach in a specific arena, a specific domain. And this TTT program can definitely enhance those skills. And today I have with me one of the young participants who was present through the training program. I have with me Mr. Kashif, who will be participating in a questionnaire session here. And I will ask him more about his activities, his profile. And I'm sure this is going to be a very interesting session. He will be able to openly share his perspective. So Kashif, thank you very much. Welcome to our webinar this afternoon. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for inviting me, sir. I am doing well, and thanks again for giving me opportunity to express myself.
So Kashif, just to give the audience and the viewers a profile, can you please tell us what is your present profile and what are your activities as you do today?
I have done and I work in a called space.
I think your voice is breaking, Kashif. Something wrong with your internet connectivity?
I'm for the. Is it audible now, or
Yeah,
is there still some fluctuation?
a little. Okay, now it's okay. I think it's. You can go ahead
Yeah.
once.
Yes. So I work in an organization called Space Kids India, and I am the lead engineer for the projects which happen over there. And for last 3 years, I worked on a couple of satellites. I made the world's smallest satellite with my team. And right now, I am in a turning point where I thought I should help others achieve their goals in technical perspective. Like I help young generation, young kids who want to make satellites and rockets, and I help them make it. So this turning point was at the same time where this training was happening. So I was good with working with machines and all, but I think the training came at the correct point when I wanted to train the younger students.
Right. So you are a budding scientist, if I may be right, right?
Yeah, you can say
Now,
that.
what is your academic background? You're from the engineering background. What is
Yes,
your
I have
academic?
finished my engineering in aerospace from Chennai,
Okay,
and
you've done aerospace engineering. Very good. Very good.
yes,
So I think you're one of the brilliant minds that India has right now, and I'm sure you're going to go a long way and going to
thank you
make us
so much.
proud as Indians to bring out some new inventions in the aeronautic industry. I'm sure, right?
Thank you so much.
So I understand you just mentioned that while you were doing this engineering experiment or research, you thought that this training program would be an add-on. Why did you think that could be an add-on?
Yeah. So I myself am good with working alone. I used to sit in front of computer on machines and I used to work and I had no problem with it. But then when I thought, let me teach a couple of my colleagues, couple of my friends or some new team members. At that time, I should learn how to deal with them, how to help them understand better. So for that, I needed to have a training or some practice of how to do it. And I was not having any training about that in my engineering curriculum. In engineering curriculum, there was no special classes on the training and how to do it. So I thought this training will be a perfect fit for me to get to my next step.
So, very good answer. That brings a lot of questions to my mind. So, as a student, do you think the the education system right now is up to the mark, or you think there are some add-ons that you need to the education system which would enhance the students' capabilities?
I think we both know that our education system is little weird and little unrealistic when it comes to students' expectations. But recently there was a new education policy which came up, and it was chaired by ex-director of ISRO. So this time it was not much about politics which helped making the policy, but this was about the literate people, the education people who actually know the value of education. So I think this new change will really help the students to enhance their education skills. So I'm counting on it, and I hope this will be really helpful.
So you think the new education system is not only the curriculum, but also adding on a lot of skill sets which are required as to be able to independently venture into a business or into an entrepreneurial setup. Am I right?
Yes, yes, that's true. They have made a curriculum such a way that it is not just dealing with academics, but they have parallelly made a couple of co-curricular activities which are must to pass. And with these co-curricular activities, there are trainings involved, there are communications, presentations involved, through which people will learn not only how to deal with the equations and maths, but also to how to deal with people and manage the system.
So I understand you as an engineer also, you think these are very fundamental skills which are very much important for any individual to be successful in any kind of field. Am I right?
Yes, true. Let me give a small example. Uh, while in space this last 1.5 years, I was working at DRDO itself. So I was working in DRDO Bangalore, where I was working as a simulation engineer. I used to simulate flows. At that time, what I realized is we do a lot of things in computer, but when it comes to manufacture an engine, we have to contact a lot of different vendors, and we have to do bidding and have to contact with them. We have to have a lot of engagement, which will help us collaborate and make the machine a reality. So for that, communication is must. How much ever intelligent, intellectual you are, that will not be helpful when it comes to speak with a person, do some bargain or collaborate. For all that skills, I think management is one of the very important things. Every person, not just a management people, but an engineer, a teacher, or any field might it be, it is must.
Thank you very much, Kashif, for your very genuine feedback about the current situation and your positive outlook of what is going to be happening further in the education industry. I definitely hope that there's going to be more development in developing skills of the individuals apart from the curriculum that is very important. So, when you actually enrolled for this TTT 6 days TTT program, what was your outlook or your perspective? What were you looking for as an outcome?
So when I joined, I wasn't actually sure what will you people teach me. So I was just thinking maybe they will teach us some skills like personality development or communication skills, how to interact with people. And I thought there were just very small areas which people will cover, and I was really surprised that it wasn't just a small area, but the people covered a lot of different places and helped me groom in different areas.
So your perspective was that it would be some standard soft skill trainings that you usually find on the online platforms that you basically know what's going to be, what you're expecting, right? So it was totally different from your expectations. Am I right?
Yes, it was completely different in a positive way. I was very happy because it's very different.
Right. So all 6 days, do you think they were really productive for you? Just give us a brief idea as to what was your experience, just a brief outlook of what you
So
went
on the
through in the 6 days.
6 days, if I have to split, I will say around 20 to 25% of the things everyone will already know, but they need to have a surety. Like, I know some skills, but if I hear it from some person who's experienced, then it will make me feel better. So that kind of content is 20 to 25%. And then I have some 40 to 60% which was completely new. It was completely new to me, but maybe a lot of the trainers were already trainers who came for training. They might know. But then there was a 40% of the content which was completely new. Not just me, but I saw the trainers, and even in the breakout rooms and other activities, they were so excited. They were like, I'm doing training from so many years, but I didn't know so much content. And these people helped us gather. So I think this was useful from the day 1 to day 6, all the days. We had something to learn.
Great, great. So another question which is very relevant to today's time, I'm sure the last 5 or 6 months we are all going through this process where are going out, communicating with people, meeting people, and the face-to-face interaction is totally gone to zero. I'm sure you know, even as a student, I'm sure you're not attending your lectures in colleges or whatever is the usual activity we all were so used to. And there has been a sudden paradigm shift from what we were doing earlier and what we are doing now. So, looking at the perspective of the current scenario, as a scientist or as an individual student, what do you think? Is it a positive way forward, or what do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of this current mode of communication that we are
Yeah, first let me correct you a little. I'm not a student anymore. I have finished my graduation and I'm working, but I can understand the meaning. So what I felt is this change, though it is odd and though it is painful in some sectors, it was important. See, we were developing electronically in a technological age, we are in a computer age, but a lot of people didn't know what it can do, how beneficial it can be. I'm pretty sure that Corona COVID effect will be gone in an year or two, and from their lives will be different. But these 2 years, for a lot of students and workers, it has helped them to understand that there is a new way in which people can work. There's a new way in which people can learn. So now, after 2 years, when the COVID is over, then when things start becoming normal, things will have more openings. Like, you know that I have to learn something, I don't have to go to coaching center, I can do it online. If I will train someone, I don't have to establish a building to do that, I can do it online. So this, though it is painful for some reason, it is very fruitful when it comes to showing people a new ways in which they can learn and they can train.
so I'm sure because you've been in the aeronautic industry, I'm sure you knew that all these modes of communication, Zoom, and so on and so forth, they were all existent well before the last 6 months, right? So, what do you think was lagging in the people uh, accepting this mode of communication and making it easier for people to do business globally?
See, people always have a fear of changing from what they know to what they have to learn, especially when it comes to elders. A lot of business are run by elder people and not by younger generation. So for them to change, it will be a little difficult. And in the past, they didn't have a necessity. There was an online business, there was offline business. They could do very well in offline way. So they didn't have a reason to do it online. So they didn't change. But now there was a necessity, and necessity is the mother of all innovation and all changes. So now they had no choice and they learned. And this learning, they thought it is not that difficult. And most of them actually like this. This is more comfortable. And I think this will continue. Like now, even when everything becomes offline, this change, maybe Zoom, maybe online interactions, making a website, all these things, it will continue and it will evolve. That is the main change that happened.
So there's a very optimistic point of view from you, Kashif, and I hope too that although I'm not as young as you are, but I still feel that this particular mode of communication and going through the virtual webinars and these new tools that we are getting used to, it's making things, of course, there are its own drawbacks, but it's making easier for us to meet each other or get onto online with people all around the world, because you're there in Hyderabad, I'm here in Mumbai. It would be very difficult for us to even meet at one point on a face-to-face platform. Basically, that really is something which is a paradigm shift in the way people are doing business right now. Although I, as a sales and marketing professional, I've been in the sales and marketing profession for the last 20 odd years. And I still feel there is a lack of, that rapport and that emotional connect which humans so very much need to basically build relationships and build a trust that is very important. But I'm sure when there are no other modes of communication, I think this still is a better option than nothing at all. So I think the most important part is that we have got a mode which is able to leverage a lot of things. I can talk to 10 people or 15 people or 100 people at the same time from all over the world, which if I would want to do it on a physical mode of communication, it would be close to impossible, basically, not only on the financial, but even on the realistic system. So this particular TTT program, apart from your experience, it was also a new way of working for me, because in this virtual arena, I went through a new learning process. I made myself go through a total change in my mindset because I knew that this is going to be going on for a long time. So I can't just rely on my usual training and communication and coaching practice, and I need to enhance my skills. And the last 5 or 6 months has been a learning process for me also. I went through virtual facilitation training programs. I've gone through many design thinking programs, and my days have all been busy in learning something or the other on the webinar. It's been an amazing journey for the last 5 to 6 months, where my whole mindset and my whole perspective about how business can be done has totally changed. So that has also given me this opportunity to conduct the 6 days TTT program, because I thought it was really important for everyone, not only trainers and coaches, but like yourself, for everyone who has some kind of a skill and he thinks he wants to touch people's lives. He wants to bring out some transformation in his community. And I think training and development is the best way to actually learn how to give back to the community. Am I right, Kashif?
Yes.
What's your outlook on that?
That is what, like, I'm changing my part from working on satellites to teaching people how to work on satellites. I think that is the best example. Like, my sir used to tell me, until the age of 35, everyone has to learn. From the age of 35, everyone has to teach. If there is no teaching part involved in a life, then there is no purpose of learning things. If you can't make that learning if we can't pass it on, then what is the purpose? If I make something innovative and if I can't teach other people how to do it, if I can't tell the community how helpful it will be, then the purpose of making it is not there anymore. So in the same way, the training like which people created, it was very beneficial. Like without that, we didn't know how to do it. And you people also created like training, like you gave us the opportunity to train us, and that opportunity was very useful. And now we learn things. It will help us to teach other people better. So this chain, I think, is very important, and it's a must in every human. At one point of the time, he should teach what he has learned, what he has taken from the society. He should give it back, and training is one of the beautiful way of doing it.
Right. So what you just said, Kashif, I would like to elaborate because I'm a student of ISTB, which is a training and development organization, and in our curriculum also it is very well mentioned, and it's a very uh, uh, understood fact that when you learn something and when you actually teach it to someone else, that process itself is a learning process, because when you actually learn something on a cognitive level and then you practice it in a practical level where whatever you have learned, you're giving it back to someone, that process itself is a learning process which stays with you for a longer time. And as you keep doing it on a regular basis as a trainer or as a coach or as a speaker, you become better in that particular arena or your core competencies. And as you keep doing it, you become excellent. So that is what my company basically pursues. ACE, which is basically achieving creative excellence, where I always focus on everyone to achieve excellence in whatever they do. Because many people say you need to pick a particular industry, and it's not necessary that only one particular industry is a good industry. Wherever you go, whatever field you choose, you need to be excellent in that particular field. That is the only way to success, rather than saying that one specific field is lucrative or very productive or is going to take you somewhere. I really don't believe in that, because in every industry, there are success stories and there are failures. So I'm sure you agree with that, Kashif. So even not being critical about your industry, because even in your industry, there might be very good, excellent people like yourself, and there might be mediocre and so not so very good people within any industry. So as a trainer and a coach, I always tell my participants that do not look at what field you want to go. Look at how well or how excellently you can perform in any field that you choose. Choose a field with passion and dedication, and have the resilience and persistence to go through it, even through many hurdles and failures. Uh, that is again another point. I'm sure you agree that many people, when they fail in something, they tend to give up, and they would rather choose another field, and they keep jumping from one point to another, one field to another, really not going all the way in anything. So, what's your outlook or your perspective about
I believe that people should not give up. If you, as you said, if you have passion in something and if you have dedication, then we should start working on it. If there's a passion in something, then you will not worry about failure. There will only be learning. There will not be a failure. And if you don't feel in the same way, then maybe that is not your passion. Maybe you are just happy. Is it a hobby or a passion? You should know a difference. And once he's pretty sure that it's a passion and he wants to work on that, then he should stick to it. And maybe not in a year, maybe not in a day. It took some 10 to 20 years for SpaceX to become what it is now. So it takes time. In 2002, SpaceX was formed. No one did know about it until 2016. So it takes time for every industry, maybe the best industry or the worst industry. So he should stick to it. And sometimes, if he's lucky enough, he can get good mentors, and there is icing on the cake. And sometimes he won't get. They should not worry about how things are going. They should just focus on the end goal, and they're like, I am here, I should go there. and he should work towards it. And I think everyone can be successful with that.
So this SpaceX, how did this actually uh, originate this idea? Who is the originator of this idea?
Yeah, so SpaceX is an aerospace company made by Elon Musk. You might know Elon Musk from Tesla, PayPal, SpaceX. So he always had a passion of going into aerospace, but he knew we need money for aerospace. It's like the slogan about aerospace is you need to spend billions to earn millions. So first you have to spend a lot of work because aerospace is a very expensive industry. Everything experimental and everything expensive. So he knew that he needed money. He knew he didn't have enough money. So he made some separate companies. He made PayPal, he sold the PayPal, he made cars company to make money. And he planned it. He knew it was going to take a long time. He knew we needed more money. He didn't give up. He was parallelly working on SpaceX and he was parallelly working on different ways to generate enough income. So with everything parallelly going smoothly, he in the end made up a successful aerospace company. Now because of the SpaceX, the complete aerospace companies around the world are in a dilemma. They are frightened. Most of the top companies are collaborating. Few companies which used to hate each other, now they are collaborating with each other to be in the competition. Or else SpaceX will become, we can say there was only ambassador in India at the time. There was no competition, there was nothing.
Monopoly, basically. Right.
Yeah, SpaceX was becoming that.
Okay.
And see, that is one man's passion. He worked so hard. He knew it was difficult, but he worked and he achieved it.
So
That is how everyone can do it.
do you think you want to be one of those guys who has one of his own companies like SpaceX?
Inshallah. But my goal in the end is not to become a philanthropist or not a American company. My goal is to teach people. Like I think I am learning where like right now I'm the director of academic programs in Space India. So my aim, I think learning is very easy. For me, learning is not a difficult part. I have, by God's grace, I have good grasping power and I can learn. But I know for some people, learning is a little difficult. So they need a proper mentorship to teach them. And I think as good as a learner I am, I'm good in teaching part also. So I want to help other people achieve their goals. I want to be the bridge through which they can achieve their goals.
So I can see that there is a future trainer in us, in Kashif,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, inshallah. Yeah.
Great. So Kashif, another question. Now, after conducting or going through the 6 days TTT program, uh, how do you think? Is there an idea in your mind how you want to proceed further, uh, and how this particular TTT has been able to enhance your perspective or your strategy to go forward?
In the beginning, before the training, if I say, I didn't have a proper structure. I didn't know what is the path through which I follow to make a design curriculum, to make the training, to help others. But after this training, now I have an outline. The outline will not perfectly fit for my needs, but with this outline, I can design my own curriculum, my own plan. And what will I be doing in the future is using my own structure. The way you people taught me, I will be training my colleagues and I will be giving them an understanding of how to plan things. And I think that will help me and my organization to grow bigger. So that is how I'm going to take away from your training and pass it to my colleagues.
Uh, can you just define what specific differences did you find in this particular training as compared to other trainings that you might have participated or experienced? Anything which stays in your memory, something that
Few things is most of there are not many VILT trainings happening when yours happening. People are very new to this VILT, and you people are taught us different ways through which you can communicate and train effectively. Maybe breakout rooms, maybe Kahoot, maybe Mentimeter. That is one part, but the main thing which I learned is how to make it effective. Because Kahoot, Mentimeter, if you Google them, you will get it. That is very easy part. But how to use it productively? How to use this virtual training productively? That is something which I learned from you. I don't think I would have learned it from different places. Like all the 4 mentors which you taught me, all of them gave me a very beautiful understanding. And I think if I would learn, if I would Google something, I don't think it would be that effective and I wouldn't have learned. So thank you again.
So, Kashif, you know, everything is on Google. Google Baba is always there for any content that you're looking for. But as a trainer, I think that it's not the content that is important, but how you present the content and your own enthusiasm, your feelings, and the passion you put into your training programs. And I don't know whether you have noticed it that my whole team, they were really very passionate. The way they were training everyone, each one of them, Ashwini, Romana, Rajesh, and I was very proud, and I'm still very proud to be the team leader for this group because each of them put in their 110%. I can tell you that they went
you could
through
feel the same.
they went through a grueling training program because uh, the experience of working with that team was that they started from knowing nothing, and by the time they actually launched the program with me, they were each, a trainer in themselves. They had the confidence, the enthusiasm, the vocal variety, the tonality, which was so very important to create that, in crossing, engaging communication, which is so very important on a virtual platform. I'm sure you understand a virtual platform. You have a very short span of, getting the attention of the participant, not like in a classroom session where you have the audience sitting in front of you and you're able to move around and communicate with them. On the other hand, in a virtual platform, many a times you have 50 to 60 participants, and it's close to impossible to have a focus on each and every participant when you're giving a presentation simultaneously. So, my team, I'm really very proud that they did an excellent job, and you are the proof by your feedback and your communication. It proves to me that they did a very good job in whatever they did. They really put in their 100% in the 6 days of training. I'm sure you agree with it, right?
See, as you said, Google has everything, but Google doesn't have a human touch. You will not feel excited with Googling stuff, but you will be excited when someone teaches you. And if the trainer itself is very excited, then the teaching has a whole different approach. And with the four trainers, you four people had that kind of enthusiasm and that really shaped the training. If the enthusiasm was not there, then the training would not have been the same. So, as you said, it's very important.
So you feel that even though it was a virtual platform, you did not lose focus or attention throughout the training, right? So it was not boring, or it was not like you wanted to just shut off the camera and get away. Am I right?
Yes. Even if it was 2 hours per day, it wasn't like a 2 hour stretch. People have divided into beautiful sections and added some activities in it. And those activities were keeping me engaged throughout the training. And that was very nice and that was very beautifully planned.
Thank you. Kashif, another thing, I was a little very hesitant when I was conducting a 2 hour program. And because of our enthusiasm, sometimes the time span went way beyond what was allocated to each participant. But I really appreciate participants like yourself and many others who still hung around even over the time, and they did not want to go away till the whole day's session was completed. So what's your feedback on that? What do you think about that?
Yes, I was there to learn, and the people were training me. And I thought even if it's because it was at night, I didn't have any other work. So I was like, let's learn. I'm getting training, so why should I miss it? I saw there were few people who were a little hesitant about the delay, but there are people who has that feeling. There are people who have this feeling. If you're passionate, if you want to learn, I think a few minutes here and there won't make a big difference. And for me, it didn't.
Yeah, I think even at the end of those sessions, people were very enthusiastic. They said, no problem. We have enjoyed the session, and we don't regretting putting in more time for this particular day. And this went on for quite a few days, I'm sure. And they were all charged up, and they every day they used to come in on the dot. And the enthusiasm that I saw from the participants was really very satisfying. And it was really it made me very satisfied that our program was able to touch people's life and help them a lot in their own careers. Like there are other participants who also shared that after the training program, there has been a lot of change in the way they are doing their own trainings or whatever activities they are doing. So that makes us, as a team, it makes us a lot of gives us a lot of pride. I'm sure, Kashif. Another thing I would like to know: can you just give me an outline of what is the next 5 years down the line for you as a professional aeronautic engineer in combination to the training skills that you were able to gather from this particular session? What's your outlook 5 years from
Right now, see, I myself am training young students about aerospace engineering. I work in a space in the organization, and in that, I have a special section called Rocket Science for Everyone, which I am directing. And through that channel, I'm teaching a lot of enthusiastic people about rocket science, aerospace, science, rocket, space, everything. And this is something which I started recently. And I think this training will be helping me throughout my journey. Like this part of my life, when I'll be teaching in this section, I think this training will be nurturing me, will be helping me each and every day. And not just me, but the complete team which will be working with me. I think this impact of the training which you people gave me will have an effect throughout this section.
So I think this particular 6 days training has given you all the ammunition that you need to make your particular training excellent. I'm sure you are going to be an ace. You are going to be one of the achievers who is going to create excellence in your field. So I'm really proud that I am able to share the ACE concept with you through my 6 days training program. And you, as an enthusiastic participant, you were able to gather all this content and skills and be able to become another ACE going down the line. I would also like to share with you that your enthusiasm is so very evident from your communication, and I would like to thank you for keeping your this passion burning and to share all the skills that you have gathered from our training program with as many people as you can, and just pass it on to many people and ask them to do the same as they go forward. Because as a trainer, I think there is no limit to how much you can uh, touch people's lives around the world. So as a trainer, it's not just the commercial aspect, but the satisfaction and the feeling of giving something back to the community, which really inspires me and keeps me going. So I hope that this 6 days training program, we can continue many more of these, and I'm going to make sure that many more like you young gentlemen are participating and gathering as many skills as possible. So another thing I would like to ask Kashif is, what is your idea for the current breed of students? What would be the best way to enhance their cognitive skills, which is the learning skills? Some tips that you could give your audience who might be the young breed, the students that might be watching this webinar right now. Some skills in
My
learning.
suggestion is first be open-minded. That is my first thing, and accept when you don't know things, and that will open a new channel itself. And when it comes to learning, there is no limit. I have met with the brightest people in my sector. I have met with the directors and secretaries of ISRO, who are like the top-notch people in India. But still, they are so humble and they accept when they don't know. When I approach them with some idea, and they really appreciate. So if they are that humble, then why shouldn't we be that humble? And that will open a new channel of learning. And when it comes to learning, try to get a mentor. Mentor is very important. If you don't get Google is enough for you to teach anything, but look for a mentor. There are a lot of experienced people who are willing to help. Maybe approach LinkedIn, maybe approach some other training platforms. And a trainer will definitely help you learn things more easily and more effectively. And when you're learning something, think about the goal. What am I learning and how will it affect? If you don't know the purpose of what you're learning, then the learning will have no meaning. So first, whenever you're trying, maybe a new chapter, maybe a new subject, first study what is the subject and what is the use of the subject. And once you know the starting point and ending point, then it will change the way you look at the subject and will change the way you learn. I think with these few steps, it will be very easy and it will be very fun for you, any one of you, to learn a topic.
So you mean to say whatever you are wanting to learn, you need to know what is the objective of learning, right? Why am I
Yes,
learning that? Basically,
exactly.
because our education system gives you all the curriculum, but many students don't know really why they are doing it, because that's why they don't have the focus and they don't know how this is really going to practically help them in life or even 2 or 3 years down the line. If they were given that clear picture as to whatever they are learning right now, how that's really going to shape their life or their career, that would give them more enthusiasm and motivation to learn. Am I right?
Yes, that is very true. A lot of people, especially in engineering, a lot of people were like, I don't want to learn this theory. This will never be useful. We hear it a lot. When I was in my college days, I heard it a lot. But then, believe me, whatever you learn is important. Like whatever I have learned in my engineering, I have applied it. And everyone who is doing the work, like if you are a mechanical engineer, if you do a mechanical engineering job, you will definitely apply what you have learned. People don't teach for no reason. So if they're teaching something, there should definitely be a reason. You should try to find out the reason, and that will motivate you to learn.
So learning needs to be connected to the objectives, and I think the teachers or professors, from your input, I think they need to learn how to connect the curriculum with the objectives before they actually start uh, teaching the curriculum. Am I right when I say that?
Yes, that is very true. Yeah,
Which I
there is
think
a
is
change
lacking.
coming.
Is that
It is
something lacking?
lacking. That is true, but I am seeing that the education system is changing. Not just education, the professors. Now there's a lot of platforms which even help professors and lecturers to elevate their teaching skills. And a lot of institutions, they are training the professors to do that kind of coaching. And if not now, maybe in a couple of years down the line, I think the change will come and professors will be enhanced to make students more enthusiastic and more fruitful.
Another point I would like to make, because I'm from the sales and marketing field for the last 20, 25 years, I may be prejudiced in my comments, but correct me if I'm wrong. Do you think sales and marketing skills is a very fundamental aspect in any kind of career that you choose? Uh, uh, your point, your comment on
Yeah, I think it is a very must skill. It doesn't matter what you are studying, like what you have studied, what job you are doing. See, for working people, I'm pretty sure they must have experienced it. Even if they're not saying, if they're not access, they have experienced it. They must have experienced it. They know that skills and marketing training is a must. If you're not applying directly, you are definitely involved in it indirectly. And once you know that you are around it, then you should also know that it's good to learn it. And for young generation and for students, you people have to learn it, because if you just imagine yourself in anyone's shoe, maybe a CEO's shoe, maybe a teacher's shoe, maybe a small market owner's shoe, like doesn't matter where you stand yourself, you will definitely come across these skills. And once you know that you will be coming across these skills, then you should also know that learning it will help you.
it? Thank you very much, Kashif. So I would like to mention that being in the sales and marketing for the last 25 years, it has given me a different perspective of how I see the world, because I find that whoever says that I'm not a salesperson, or I am not involved in sales, uh, might be not aware that everyone is selling something or the other. So whatever you are saying, whatever point you are making, you are selling your point of view, you are selling your perspective of what you think is uh, the, the idea that you would like the other person to accept. So that itself, any communication between any two people, you need to have the skills of persuasion and being able to present yourself with the right language, the right communication skills to be uh, concise and to the point in the way you actually present yourself in any group or in any communication, in meetings, in conferences, in public speaking forums, or even on a day-to-day basis when you're meeting friends or your office colleagues or your corporate world. I'm sure the speaking skills and sales and communication skills are the most important fundamental aspects that each one of us needs to learn. And primarily the new students or new generation that is coming out with their education, they need to be well equipped when they come into the job industry, because I'm sure that many of them have found themselves lacking and thinking that this should have been one of the skills that they should have groomed themselves in. So I would like to stress on the fact that uh, the sales and marketing skills need to be a part of any industry. As Kashif, being an engineer, an aeronautic engineer, you also think that it is a very important part of any career success. I'm sure uh, many of you in the industry might be on the same perspective. So, Kashif, I would like to thank you very much for giving your time today to be on this webinar. And I really enjoyed this time that I spent with you. You're sharing all the information that you have shared. I'm sure all the viewers would be able to take away a lot of information and a lot of knowledge from your feedback and your thought process, and the valuable information you've given to the new students how to learn and make themselves productive, to be able to set their outcomes for whatever they learn. So today was a great day being able to share my question and answer session with Kashif, and I hope Kashif has all the success in the coming future, and we might have another SpaceX in India with Kashif being the entrepreneur starting a new space age technology sometime very soon, right, Kashif?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Yes.
So just to conclude this particular webinar, would you like to give some message to our participants before we close this webinar?
Yes. See, all the people who are listening, again, I want to thank this training team, and this training team shaped me very much so that I'm having my own training. So I request everyone to know the importance of this training, and if possible be a part of it, because there's nothing harm in learning, and knowing that it is fruitful and not learning, it is nothing but foolishness. So you audience know if you're smart or foolish, and you people have a right to decide what is good for you. So please think accordingly.
Thank you very much, Kashif. It was a great session with you. Thank you for sharing your comments, and to the audience, thank you very much for being a part of this webinar. And we'll be bringing more of such webinars to you of all the participants who have gone through the training program to share their point of view. So thank you very much, Kashif, and have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye.